Hello friends, so today we'll start a session on ASP.NET. So to get started with ASP.NET application, what you need to do is you have to go to File, New, and you have to pick Website. Either of the version you are selecting in the Visual Studio, the method to select this might be somewhat different, but the after all procedure would be same to create a project, right? So Visual C#, I'm going to select the ASP.NET website where I want to store it. So I'll just select the folder, .NET, alright, and give the appropriate name that you want to give to your website. Let's say ASP.NET controls, for example. Alright, so it take a moment or two to create your website. So once you have it ready, so this is your website, you will have a solution explorer. So let's get started with adding a page. So how you can add a web form? So right click on this, add new item, and select the web form. Make sure you select the C#. You can give the any name of the web form, whichever you want to give. So this is your web form, which will have a design and a source view. So you can write down actually an ASP script, and based on that you can have a design view, or rather you create a view and you will be able to access the script, ASP.NET script ready-made available from you using those drag and drop functions, right? So design, you just go to design, right? So let's go to insert table. I'm just forming a layout first of all. So all these things which are controls we are putting should look proper. So I'm giving one row and two column with the 100%, right? So we have two columns, just giving each cell's width of 50%. Also giving the same for this one, 50%. So if this is the layout, it won't be shown when you run your page. Let's check it out. So you'll not be able to see in the runtime environment. It's just the layout that will form your UI much better. So make this alignment right, this cell alignment left, right? So we have it. Let's get started with all the controls. I'm just write down first labels few. So name, let's say then username, password, address, country, say a birth date, right, and password. Then we can have a confirm password, right? You like, do you agree or not, right? We have such fields on the website, in the live website, right? Then let's say an email address, you can have an age, anything you want. I mean, I'm just taking the general fields. So for each and every field, I'm gonna put a control, a specific appropriate control, so we can touch up with all the necessary controls, basic controls. It's a gender, all right. Hobbies, all right. So that is there. Then you can put all these controls one by one. So needs to stop debugging, all right. So let's put all the controls one by one. Let's say text box we'll be using for the name. We'll be using the text box for username as well. We'll be using the text box for password. Again for confirm password. A radio buttons for gender. An address. So again a text box. a country. So let's say we'll be using the drop down list. For the hobbies, we'll be, let's say, using the list box. For birth date, we can use a calendar control. So here it is. Email address, so rather use the text box. Age, you can use a text box again. Do you agree the terms and conditions? So we can use the checkbox for that. So these are not the only fields you can use. There are so many controls, right? So you can play with all the controls. I've taken this specifically so we can later on check for the validations as well. So that's why I've taken those fields. Alright, and button, so you just put the button, let's say submit. So let's run the form and let's check, I mean, it's working properly or not. So we have designed the UI using all the ASP.NET controls, so it's fine, right? We are to add a country and hobbies, so it would look proper. Also, you can see we are able to select both the radio buttons, so that's not appropriate. So let's get started with name. So this is a pattern of writing the code. So you can always give the name like txt name. So txt is a prefix. Same way txt username, txt password, txt confirm password. For radio button, we are generally using RBT, male, RPT, female, right? For text box address, you rather use txt address. For drop down list, we are using ddl country, like dd list, so lst hobbies, and again a text box, so txt email, txt age. The checkbox is there, so we can use chk agree, likewise. So we have given all the names, so we may later on use it for the validations or by the code as well. You can set the radio button's text. Let's say this is a male and this is for female. So at a time you can rather select male or female gender, cannot be select both at the same time. So you have to set a property group name. So just give the group name same, like this is a group gender group, so group name gender. For the same female, you give the group name gender. So at a time you will be able to only select one radio button, right? So working fine. You can also add a, let's say address is there, so you can make this text mode properties there specifically. So you can make this text mode multi-line, so you'll be able to have a much more larger text box with higher text, right? Same way like password, so it has to be starred, so you have to make the text box mode proper text mode property a password. So whatsoever you will be writing, it will be a masked text, not the plain text. So you'll not be able to see the password actually. That's what the moral of the story is. So right, and you have a higher text box, I mean a text box with more text, that is a text mode property multi-line. You can also enter the value into the drop down list. Quite simple. Hit the quick task, edit items, hit add, right? Quite simple. Same way for the hobbies, the same scenario. Music, sports, likewise, right? So these are the common controls we have been using, right? In the next session, we'll be checking the validation for all those controls to get you started with. Play with all the properties of the buttons, controls, text boxes, radio button, check boxes, right? And let us know the feedback. Thank you so much.